Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. It is Fresh Tip Tuesday, and we are closing out March with the last, not the least, but another Fresh Friend edition just for all of you, my fresh friends. So I cannot wait to jump in and share with you my amazing friend this way, Louise. And we're going to be learning all about her, about Weezy Incorporated, as well as Weezy today. So go ahead and grab your seat, share this on your page so your friends see it too, and let's get this party started. Hey, we are back, everybody. I hope you are having an amazing Tuesday for our Fresh Tip Tuesday. Again, I am Corinne Brown, the Fresh Expert, and I thank you guys so much for joining us. This is a Fresh Friend edition, and I have my amazing friend Louise with me here. Everyone say hi, Louise. And then Louise, you say hi too.
Hi.
As we go to everybody. Well, as you guys know, if you've been watching all month long, I have been sharing my fresh friends with all of our viewers. And we just talk a little bit about life and how I met them and more. We talk about why they're my fresh friends. And so I'm going to share with you right now why Louise is my amazing fresh friend that I needed to share with you. Okay, so in some of the other episodes, I have talked about how you should always surround yourself with people that have qualities that you aspire for. Because at the end of the day, the people you surround yourself is the people you become, which is why you should always take a check at where you are in your life. If you're not happy with where you are, maybe you should think about who you surround yourself with. And that might mean you want to adjust and pick up some fresh friends like mine. So Louise here has been a friend of mine for I seriously was doing the math, Louise. It's almost a decade. Like I have known you
Wow.
for a good chunk of my life. In fact, after both my babies, we were at a networking group called Business Sorority. It met at Dilworth Neighborhood Grill, and I know I was part of that group. I want to say since 2009. And that's where we first connected. But
Mhm.
when you are an entrepreneur, and any of you guys watching, comment if you agree. Typically, you go to a lot of different networking things and you learn the degrees of networking, right? It's not necessarily 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, it's the number of degrees of networking where we all have all of these connections. And so Louise and I kept running into each other at a lot of different places. And when I want to say our relationship shifted from more of a just, hey, we know, is actually when I was in a very dark time in my life. I had just gone through my second divorce. I wasn't really just I was struggling in a lot of ways. And Louise was one of these amazing lights that not only helped bring me back to the spiritual realm of where I needed to be to finally grow, but it gave me that comfort and guidance when my world was spinning out of control and I didn't know where to stand. So I don't know if you knew that, Louise. I'm feeling like goosebumps.
No, you didn't
Very
tell me I
fast.
needed to bring a tissue. You're making me tear
I know,
up.
you wanted it to be authentic, right? You wanted it to be true because I want you to know that you truly made a difference in my life. And honestly, as we've mentioned a lot about life, and we're going to talk about that today with evolving and changing, you have been part of my
Mhm.
story that has brought me through going from just the fresh expert, the Tupperware lady, to the fresh expert, the mogul. I like to say,
We're on our journeys. We're on our
yeah,
journeys.
on our journey. And then just growing as a person from my 30s to now my 40s. I mean, it's truly amazing the people that have been there and part of it. And you have been a constant because of the amazing qualities inside of you. So that is
Oh.
why I love you so much. That is why you are here.
Well,
And now I'm
thank
just
you.
gonna
I
start
love you
telling you
too. You're like one of my kids. I feel sometimes like your spiritual mother.
there are times you definitely are. And I look at it and I think for all of you guys watching, just to think about it doesn't matter age, right? But
Mm-mm.
the people's souls of where you're at or the experiences, it's those attributes that are what make just life so magical. I can't think of another word. I don't know if that describes it. This is what
Well, it
happened.
definitely gives you some quality to life, and
It
it
does.
makes you it and particularly after what everybody has been through the last 2 years, to make it out on the other side and still be connected, I think says huge things, and we're still progressing in the journey in which we met. We
Yeah,
didn't give up, and I think that says a lot.
I think so too. I love it. Now, I want to jump in though, because I know we are limited on time, and Louise and I can always talk like all day.
Oh, forever. Every day. If we could.
I just shift and focus. It's my whole thing. So,
Oh, bling.
let's talk about Weezy. So, as we're talking about evolving through
Mhm.
life, when I first met Louise, she was focused mostly on video with Ellie Production and had a great theme and brand. I always loved her for her branding, just so you know. And you've now evolved into Weezy. So, maybe if
Mhm.
you can share a little bit about that, I would love.
Well, what Corinne doesn't know, well, maybe she does know, but when I first met Corinne, I was coming out of a new stage of life. I was in my mid-40s. I had just graduated college.
Wow.
And I was bringing my new craft that I had learned in college into the business place. Um, I'm not discounting anything, but it was just the times, jobs were tight. Um, I'm not particularly in an industry that they hire a mature person.
Okay.
Some mature people with lots of experience, but a newbie, I just wasn't I just wasn't having luck. And I just got instead of getting discouraged and giving up, I decided to craft my own path, which in those days, so many of us were doing that. And I love video, and I knew that's where I wanted to be. So, but I was really shy. I was really afraid. And instead of putting my own face out there, I have an adorable beagle whose name is Ellie. And so the beagle, Ellie, became my my brand. And I branded everything around my beagle. Now, I have 4 dogs. Why did Ellie get the name? Why did Ellie get to see the face? Number 1, because she's so stinking adorable. Um, and she is not if you see in the background and you see a dog, that's not Ellie, that's Izzy. But Ellie was so stinking but the reason she got the to be the name of the company is because my name is Louise Elizabeth L.E.
Oh, that's
So
good. I got it.
so that is how I started Ellie. But over the years, I started breaking out and whenever you start on a journey, it's like you might have a single focus, but then it starts branching out.
Right.
And that's what I found myself doing. I was branching out into taking video, but there's so many different components to video and where you can use it and share it. I had to start writing. I had to start speaking. And so the umbrella for Ellie Video Productions was getting very limited. And one day I had an epiphany that while I had been in video, um, I'm going to go into the Wayback Machine when I was a little girl. People who knew me and loved me, my friends and family called me Weezy. But that went away after school for 20 some years. But as I was doing video, the people who were working with me and got to know me were calling me Weezy. So I started to cherish the name. And so hence I rebranded from the dog and put my face in front and my name. My nickname Weezy. So hopefully by the time you're done listening to this, you too might find that you want to know me better and grow to love me. So,
Well, I love that, and I just the big thing you take away that I think everyone watching would take away is it's okay to evolve. You
mhm,
put yourself out there, you tried something new, try it on for a while, and
mhm.
then you decided, "You know what? I really want people to know me for what everyone truly loves me for," because when you truly do what you love and you share from your heart, everything is easy. I don't think you dread going to work. I don't think we dread what we do. It's when we love what we do, that's the gift. I think was that Judge Judy? I think there's an Instagram reel thing where I think there is, where she's like, when you find what you love and you get paid to do what you love, that is the ultimate dream. Okay, I'm not
I
saying
feel
it.
like every day I'm goofing off.
right?
I really do. I'm like going, "What did I do today? I did this, this, and this, and this," and I'm just, like, fueled
Mhm.
and energized because and I feel like I've had a fun day.
And see, isn't that a great thing? And that's just going to show is that you can change. And if it's not
Mhm.
quite right, it's okay to shift. I mean, I feel like when you switched to Wheezy, you kind of went through that again because I
I've
remember us.
definitely gone through a metamorphosis
Yeah, and I
again.
think it's okay if we do, and I think that's the biggest thing, at least as of now, in the first 11 minutes of us being live here, takeaway is it's okay to shift and it's okay to evolve and metamorphosize multiple times, okay? It doesn't have to
Mhm.
be one, you can have multiple. Hey, I've been in the cocoon for a couple times now in my life, and I fought to break out, and then you're like, "I don't wanna go through that again," and then I went through it again. But
Yeah. Yeah, been there. And I think we're just all kind of coming back out of another cocoon.
we are, we are. So, okay, we were chatting the other day, and this is where I was like, we're going to talk about this today. And this is the turtle and the rabbit. And so, Louise was talking just about how we approach life. And I know you guys have heard the story of, the rabbit and the tortoise in the race, right? Of the race of life.
Mhm.
But Louise was giving me a whole different sort of um, perspective on that the other day when it comes to life. And I was like, oh, my fresh friends need to know this. Like, yes, this is why she's in my life. Y'all need to know this too. So if you
So
would, if you would, that's my intro for you. You like that? I'm like, now go.
now
I
what
would have it.
um, okay, so I Corinne is a rabbit, and I have found I I was a I was a turtle wearing the rabbit mask.
Okay.
We like to it's like we get so excited with things and we jump out there and we leap out there and we go really fast. It's like, here's this new bright, shiny thing. I want all of it. And we expect to know it like that in an instant. And we get really frustrated when we try it. And sometimes we fall flat on our face.
Mhm.
And I kept doing this a lot because in my industry, I'm going, I need to know the most cutting edge way to do video. I need to know the most cutting thing of what's new for social media and how video is affecting it. And I kept running out and trying these new things, but and it wasn't that I was doing it bad, but I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't happy. And so then it started affecting my anxiety. Started getting very anxious and everything. So bunnies are very anxious creatures. They jump to and fro. But in the last year, 2 years, this is where COVID was really good for me because I did have to reinvent myself. I was going one direction. Here comes COVID. I couldn't go out and shoot videos anymore.
Mhm.
Through the years, I'd had all these people that I wanted to do like little video show concepts with. They weren't coming through. And one day I literally heard this little thought come into my head go, do your own. And that was the birth of Weezy. And I do a show lifestyle called Weezy Today, or Wednesdays with Weezy, actually is what it's called. My website is Weezy Today. But that is my lifestyle brand, and so for a lot of COVID, my my turtle side decided to hone in to that so that I got better in front of the camera because I didn't wanna be in front of the camera, I was always behind the camera
Right.
and involving everybody else to, "Hey, come out, talk, be visible," you know? Well, there comes a time you gotta practice what you preach. So I came out of that shell and I came forth. So what I did is before I started video, I used to do a lot of artistic endeavors. Growing up, I've always had a love and a passion for cooking, crafting, baking, gardening. I I I love it all. I love DIY projects, and fortunately, I am so fortunate to have a husband who is so skilled in doing woodworking crafts, developing different accessories for me or whatever. And so some of it I was on camera. Sometimes I brought Barry on camera with me, and we developed for a year Weezy Today. And I just kept trying different things. And in that, that's when I learned how to write better, write more art article type things because I loved growing up. I grew up in the era. Right at the end of the boomers, so I'm almost a cross between of the generations. Um, but I've always done a lot of things myself. And so I started popping on every Wednesday with Wednesdays with Weezy and talking to people. Were shut in, and I gave them a little bit of company for a little bit of time. Um, and so then moving forward this last year, it's like, COVID's not going to stick here forever. I'm going to take what I've learned during this time and I'm going to stick my head out there just a little bit more and start to learning how to teach courses. And that's what I've been doing. And I teach people how to do all of this fun stuff for video or podcast moving forward. And that's where Weezy Inc. comes in. And I give free information. And then there's, if you want to dig in and really become more proficient, that's where I come and I help those turtles. I'm really looking at those turtles who are like looking out going, I wish I could do that. Oh, I want to do that. How did she do that? How does she sound so good? How does she, look good? So it's a 360. It's a 360. And it really resonates with life of doing a 360. See what's surrounding you. So sometimes, as a turtle, you want to retreat into your shell. Sometimes you're not as fast as those bunnies on picking up all the new nuances that are out there on the horizon. And guess what? Neither one of them are wrong. A bunny's not wrong. A rabbit's not wrong for wanting to dash out and do what they do. And a turtle isn't wrong for wanting to take it slow and steady. We're just called to, okay, that's how you do it. This is how I do it. And love each other
I think
in the
that's pretty
midst of it
cool.
all.
So just always think about the fact it's, everybody, it's not about a race. Let's take the race out of it, but know that there are different styles. And if you're jumping around, maybe you wear a little bit of both. That's okay.
Yeah.
Always be willing to try it out there. Remember that it is a journey as we go.
And there is no winners or losers, unless you choose to, you set that fate for yourself. It's up to you if you choose to hang it up.
I love it. Well, as you know, she was mentioning, with Weezy Today and Weezy Incorporated, she gives you lots of great tips, and they're all free tips. So make sure that you go and connect. That way, you can be getting some of this great information. I know before we jumped on, we were talking about audio and different things. All right. So for anyone watching, if they're wanting to go live, what is like biggest tip that you would share with one of them? Like, okay, listen, if you're going to go live, whether it's by tech or I don't know, what is your tip? Like the number one that you would give away?
I'm going to tell you the easiest way to go live. If you have Facebook, you can't do this unless you have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. So let's just say Facebook or Instagram. Use that smartphone. You have that smartphone in your hand all the time, and the cameras in the smartphone have become so good. I mean, now have capabilities. If you ever wanted to shoot, there's really no reason to do this, but to shoot in 4K and 8K and all the advanced technologies, starting really from probably the generations from like 2019 and up. If you have anything older than that, then there might be a little bit of distortion, which in the industry we call noise, where it's just you just get a little more fuzzy on your screen. But you use your phone because you have it right there in front of you. And then before you start going live, push that video button start talking. Just start talking, looking into this because it's like a mirror. So say we're looking into a mirror. So start talking and getting your language. Then go replay it back and look at where you're looking when you're saying, so that you start training your eye of where you need to look, what you want to focus on. Um, Start listening to your voice. Everybody nobody really likes their voice when they start doing this. So my suggestion is sometimes, and I did this a lot when I started, because I said I was a turtle. So I would tell people what they needed to do, but I wasn't doing but I wasn't practicing what I preach. Snapchat was a huge, huge tool for me because
Yeah.
I could disguise my voice. I would go in there and I would look through the filters and I would put on the funny little animal ears and teeth and stuff, but I would practice using those filters, and I could disguise my voice using their little voices, but I would go, "Oh, I'm not looking right. Oh, I stammered over those words." But again, using that as a tool to build your confidence
As you're
and
going. So
as you're going.
I
Mhm.
never thought to use Snapchat as something to practice with. I know with my sales team, a lot of times I do tell them just use your phone. And a lot of people don't know this. I know you know this, but on Facebook, you can go live only to yourself. In fact, in my one of my e-courses, I teach you how to power your lives and that you can click that too. But if you didn't know this as you're watching, did you know, you guys, you can go live to just yourself. And this is exactly
Mhm.
what Louise is saying here is
It's because
practice
you
you
can
on video.
practice your tech there too. And
Mhm.
then in order to sound better and, is just use hands-free, earbuds, and because your hands-free thing usually has a mic in it. So once again, you probably already have that, so you don't have to go out and buy any extra equipment.
Awesome.
And then if you need to light up your face some, stand someplace where some natural light comes inside.
Mhm. And that's a big thing to remember too, just placement is important. Take your phone, whatever app you're using, whether you know what, you could even just use the video setting on your phone. You don't
Yep.
even go live to practice. I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking we really have no excuse to practice.
Mm-mm.
The only obstacle is ourselves. And maybe that's because you're a turtle and your head is ducked back in your shell. Okay, peep
Yeah.
out and just try. We're gonna pull this
Just
full
come out and
circle.
try. And if you don't wanna be seen, guess what? Hit the record button for, just your voice, and just record your voice and practice your diction in what you say and how you bring forth those words
For everybody. Yeah. I
for,
think that's great.
if you wanna just because then you can use that in a podcast.
Oh, love it. See?
Mm,
Podcast. There's so many great places to use it, but just to practice and to get out there. And the more you practice it too, the better. And if you're wanting to boost your algorithms, it's about repetition and
about
just
repetition and consistency.
mhm,
Show up. Show up. Pick a day of the week that you want that works for you. Don't worry about what time it is. Don't worry about what day of the week it is. Pick what's good for you, because chances are people aren't going to watch. Some people will watch you live, but more than likely they're going to watch you in the replay, because because if they know you and they like you, they're going to come and they want to see what you have to say, and on their time, on
right.
their
And they
time.
will watch you. And it's just keeping them
Mhm.
engaged.
Yep.
That just reminds me of like another tip for you guys. When you do go live, all of you, please don't say I'm waiting for people to jump on.
Oh, no.
Please don't do that. And here's why. I completely understand that you want to have the people to talk to. Like right now, I want you to be
Mhm.
live with me, but I recognize the fact that you're probably watching this on the replay because that's what most of us do. And when I know I'm watching a replay, I want you to get to the point and I want you to catch me like right off the bat. Because if I have to wait 5 minutes to find out where the meat is, I probably won't stay on. And I know
No.
you're the same way. And I'm
Mhm.
just glad you're still watching right now, all of you. So thank you.
Yeah, so to kind of counteract that is maybe do a little chit chat, engage your audience. Say, "Hey, I'm so this is why you hear people say these things at the very beginning. Hey, come in, tell me where you're from and everything. But you're engaging with your audience, getting them to, encouraging them to comment and, have a question of the day, you know,
Awesome.
and usually have it pertaining to what you're have it try to line up with what the meat of your message is going to be. But if you do that, then ask some questions and ask them to reply, and then remind them if they're in replay, they can still comment, and just
Mhm.
do a hashtag replay, because
Awesome.
then it gives, not only it gives them a chance to still feel included, but it lets you know when people are watching before and after too.
That's
And
true. It does help us to know. Thank you for,
mhm.
being here. It always makes this nice. Okay, so we're gonna do some fun rapid fire to close this out because time flies
Uh-oh.
way too fast. Fun random questions. But before we do, don't forget, please connect with Louise. You can reach her at weezyincorporated.com or weezy.today. And then we have her information scrolling across the bottom to, I believe, is it two Z's on Weezy Media, or did I misspell that when I typed that up?
It is 2 E's and 2 Z's.
Okay, just making sure. I copy and pasted, but you know how you guys second guess yourself? Well, I do.
Mhm.
And I just
Mhm.
want to make sure that the right information is out there so you guys can connect and learn some great more tips. So, though, until then, are you ready, Louise?
I guess so. I didn't know I was gonna be put on the hot seat. Whew.
Yeah, it's kind of fun for me. All right, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Sunset or sunrise?
Sunset.
Okay. A favorite flower?
Gerber daisies.
What is a childhood memory that you have?
Going back to the dogs, I was the youngest of 6, and I was 5 years removed from number 5, and so I was kinda lonely, so the dog was my best friend.
Oh, I love it. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Favorite color?
Purple.
Favorite quality about yourself? I know, that was a good one, right?
Uh-huh. Um, I'm a good friend.
You are a good friend, and that's why you are my fresh friend and here with us today. And what a great way to wrap it up. I love it. So, guys, I hope that you love my fresh friend Louise Wheezy as much as I do, and I hope that you will connect with her. Louise, thank you again for coming and sharing from the heart. Make sure all of you guys watching on the replay, are you a turtle or are you a rabbit or are you both? You know,
You can be both.
you can
You can be
absolutely be
you
both.
there's different seasons of life that,
We
just
go through
but
lots.
just be authentic to yourself.
True. And I appreciate you for always being authentic and for lifting me through all these seasons of life. So, guys, I hope that you have an amazing end of the day. And thank you for watching my Fresh Friend edition of Fresh Tip Tuesday. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.